Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about the runway length corrections. Apart from that, we are going to discuss about the various basic runway length assumptions. Fundamentally, there are three different types of runway length corrections that are being applied. The first one is the elevation correction, followed by the temperature correction, and further followed by the gradient correction. A point to be noted is that after applying the temperature correction, it must be noted that the basic runway length should not increase by 35% or it should be less than the 35% of the original basic runway length. So moving on further, we are going to discuss about the basic runway length fundamental assumptions. One of the major assumption is that the aircraft is fully loaded while carrying out the calculations. The runway length is level longitudinally in the direction. It is assumed that the no wind is blowing on the runway length before applying the correction, and the standard temperature is assumed to be 15 degree at the airport. So these are few basic assumptions. Apart from that, there are several assumptions like the runway standard temperature is maintained along the temperature standard is maintained along the length. So moving on to the next slide, we are going to go for the elevation corrections. As per the ICAO recommendation, the basic runway length should be increased at the rate of 7% for every 300-meter rise in elevation above the mean sea level. This means that for every 300-meter rise in elevation above the ground surface, there must be 7% increase. For that purpose, this elevation correction is applied. For the temperature correction, it is applied after the elevation correction. So it is noted that the basic runway length is increased by applying elevation correction. After applying the elevation correction, it is further increased at the rate of 1 degree C for every 1 degree Celsius rise in ART, that is airport reference temperature. So the term ART comes into the picture apart from the standard airport temperature. The standard airport temperature is assumed to be at 15 degrees C, but what about the airport reference temperature? The airport reference temperature is carried out using this formula TA plus Tm minus Ta by 3, where Ta is the monthly mean of average daily temperature for the hottest month of the year, whereas the Tm is the monthly maximum mean daily temperature for the same month. So I think this terminology can be much clearer by showing you an example. So this is a month of August. Considering it as an average daily temperature, like for today's 1st August temperature was 35 degree, average temperature was 35 degrees C. The average temperature for 2nd August was 36 degrees C. So on, the average temperature for the entire month for each day is noted down. Going to the next column, the daily temperature, that is the maximum daily temperature for the 1st August was 39. For the 2nd of August was 38 degree, whereas the maximum temperature for the 4th August was 36 degree. So the second columns consist of all the maximum temperature, daily maximum temperature for that month. So we are going to sum up the monthly average temperatures for the entire month divided by the number of days of that particular month. We will get the monthly mean of average daily temperature. Similarly, we will sum up the entire maximum daily temperature for the month, that is the hottest month. We will get the average by taking the number of days that have been considered for that month. We will find out the monthly mean of the maximum daily temperature of the same month or the hottest month. This is how the maximum monthly mean of average daily temperature and monthly mean of maximum daily temperature are calculated. So I hope these terminologies are clear, TA and Tm. And apart from them, it can be seen from the examples that Tm is always greater than Ta. So this is what the standard airport temperature SAT, that is 15 degrees Celsius, it has been considered as 15 degrees Celsius. Apart from that, for 100,000 meter rise in elevation rate, for 1000 meter rise in elevation, minus 6.5 degrees Celsius is considered. that's the correction we are going to apply. And the final correction is like for every 1 degree C, the difference between airport reference temperature and standard airport temperature is considered. For the difference between these two temperature, the length of the runway is increased by 1%. The check after temperature correction is must. You need to apply that after temperature correction is applied, it should be noted that the percentage increase in length of runway should not be more than 35% of the basic runway length. If it is that so, you have to increase the runway length by 35%, not to the actual correction obtained after the temperature correction, actual length obtained after the temperature correction. Sorry for that misunderstanding. I repeat, if the temperature length, if the basic runway length is more than 35%, if after applying the temperature correction is more than 35%, it should not be considered. Apart from that, increase the basic runway length by 35% and consider it for the further calculation. As I said it earlier, ART will always be greater than SAT. Gradient correction. It should be followed after applying the temperature corrections. For 1 degree, for 1% efficient gradient, increase the length by 20%. Therefore, 1% effective gradient, the length of is increased by 20%. Here there comes the term effective gradient. So basically the effective gradient is carried out as the highest elevation minus lowest elevation of that particular site divided by total runway length. So this is how you calculate the effective gradient. Thank you for watching this video. I will putting up the correction length in numerical in the next video. Hope you like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.